What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another stream. Yeah, sorry I'm so late, and sorry I wasn't streaming yesterday. Yesterday I wasn't feeling the greatest. Almost decided to do an emergency stream because one of the topics tonight that we will be getting into is Tim Pool going nuclear. Yeah, I watched all that go down. And then I had a tweet kind of pop off that was kind of nice. Nice to see that actually do good and, you know, go places. Oh, excuse me. I'm still a little icky from yesterday. Then the reason I'm so late today was honestly because of work. So, yeah, there's that. But there's a lot of stuff I have to get caught up on. There's been a lot of things developing over the past couple of days. Ever since the end of show Sunday to now, so I have a lot of things I need to make videos on and talk about and discuss. So there's that. There's that good news. But as you can see, I'm trying to get around to getting everything working and stuff. I'm gonna turn off the music. I can't think with that stuff on right now. I'm exhausted, by the way. It's been a long day. It's been a long couple of days. Not just being sick yesterday, but it was just a long freaking day yesterday. Well, today with work and some of the stuff I was doing. And you just you get up every day, you go to work and you clock in and you do the best you can, and then you come home and then you're like, God dang it, I wish I was drinking. But I don't drink as much anymore, so I'm happier, healthier. God, a nice beer from time to time sounds really, really well. Or really, really good. Whatever. Something, a nice beer sounds good right now is what I'm trying to say. But, work, nasty 4-letter word. That's right, work. Work is a nasty 4-letter word. Along with woke. I think woke is a nastier 4-letter word. But before we get too far into this, let's actually pull up just a simple topic because I don't want to sit on this one for too long. I'm going to do this kind of like a Dermy Wormy, you know, snippet from the stream and stuff and give my thoughts on what happened last night over on Timcast IRL and some developments that happened that I think at least explain why Tim's been feeling the way he has been for the past couple of weeks. Because it's very obvious to see that something's going on. And at the same time, it doesn't excuse it, but it at least explains it a little bit. By the way, shout out to you, Legatus. I see you doing the Lord's work over there. And I did see people over on Twitter were retweeting the stream and stuff, so hopefully we get some viewers in here. But let me do this. So what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy. This is a segment from Dermy's Daily Dictation, and we're going to be discussing Tim Pool's nuclear meltdown yesterday. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what happened, well, let me just play a little bit of what went down on his 2-hour therapy session with Dave Landau
tonight, and so apologies to Hannah Claire because you know she does a good job. But yeah, I think this might be the end. This might be the end. Cascade failure. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where we hit today. So it's like there's a series of, you know, I would never call out anybody personally or individually. No.
All right.
There's also legal ramifications to insulting employees.
Oh, that's true.
So you can figure it out. Yeah, he laughed up a little bit there, but he had a massive meltdown in which he started calling out employees, and not by name, but saying that, hey, you guys are doing awful work. He was talking about how the show is just done, how he can't get anything finished. And it boiled down to a managerial issue going on over at Timcast. And this all really sparked because a graphics card failed in a computer backup studio in his studio. Yeah, but I want to put this down here, okay? I've been watching Timcast for many years now, off and on. I understand Tim Pool's management style, I understand his business style and his work style. It's not conducive to an actual successful company, to be brutally honest there. He oftentimes just hires friends or people he thinks is gonna do well, instead of actually hiring people that would do really, really well. Um, and I'll get to that in a little bit later, Jeremy. Don't you worry. But he never hired the correct people for the job. Now he's hired many good employees. He has many employees that are actually good in the areas that they're good in. They know what they need to do, they get the job done, and they do really well. And that's one of the benefits to Timcast, to be brutally honest here, is people don't watch Timcast to watch Tim, they watch Timcast to watch Hannah Claire, Seamus, the guy from All That Remains. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but they go to him to watch everybody else. They don't go to him to watch Tim. They go to get the news. So Tim's not the main person there that people actually care about. They like Hannah Claire, Seamus, and again the dude from All That Remains that I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. They like those people. So Tim has been able to collect a bunch of people around him that do really good work, but at the same time, you've hired so many people that don't know what it is they're doing, don't know how to do actual good work, and ultimately it's led you to this point. And on top of that, a lot of your own systems within the company that you have actually talked about, in which you're very liberal in some of the ways that you go about business and work ethic. Now, I'm not saying Tim, well, yes, Tim's a liberal, and I'm not saying like woke work ethic or anything like that. I mean a more nonchalant work ethic that you have fostered at your company, that you have also openly talked about. Being that, hey, if you need a break, go take a break. Hey, if you're sick, take a few days off. Do it as you will. This whole like kind of nonchalant style thing, this whole buddy buddy mentality, that works for a smaller company, but once you grow to a certain size, which you have obviously achieved, that doesn't work anymore. You need people to actually be doing the job. You need people to actually be a leader. And this gets to an all-around point that I have. Tim's not a leader. And I can hear the people saying it right now. What do you mean Tim's not a leader? He's managed this company. He's built this massive thing. You obviously haven't built anything. Look at your dinky little channel. What have you done? Look at all the things. No. Yes, Tim's created a massive company. Tim has managed this massive company, but being a leader is something completely different. Being a leader helps you understand that there's certain things that you can and can't do, and you need to be able to instill the hope into your employees so that they can actually get the job done. Now, what does that kind of entail? Well, in some of my day-to-day stuff, being a leader is as simple as going out there to where I work and picking up a broom as a manager and starting to sweep the aisles or something like that. That's what a leader does. He leads by example. Where when it comes to Tim can run the company as much as he wants, but he is such a narcissist and such a micromanager that he has to do it all himself, and he's never really motivated his employees to actually be the go-getter, be able to go out there and actually achieve for themselves. He's just done it all himself, or he just falls apart. You need, as a leader, you need to be the one that instills this inspiration into the employee base. You need to be the one that actually leads people and actually tells people, hey, this needs to get done. Hey, we need to go out and do this. Hey, this has to happen. And a leader is also the person that comes out here and makes the hard decisions, is going to stand there, look the employees dead in the eye if they're not getting the job done, and say, you're fired. Bye. Because some of the other things that were coming out of this was, yes, there were some faulty employees. There's some employees that aren't carrying the load, or they were stealing, they were leaking company information, all sorts of craziness that was going on. That a that if you actually, nipped in the butt right away as a leader, you could have actually prevented from happening in the first place. Uh, Leadership is not it is to be a leader is something that takes effort, time, and understanding in order to be. And I could firmly believe that Tim can lead small groups of people, lead his previous groups of people that he used to lead back when he worked at Univision, or it was something like that, and some of those other smaller groups that he's been a manager of. But when you're dealing with a company the size of Timcast that has been taking on three massive committed jobs, where you're trying to build a coffee shop, you're trying to build a skate park, you're trying to build a skating organization, you're trying to do all this stuff all at once, you as the creator can't be an effective leader. You're just incapable of doing it. You need somebody there to actually be the leader. Now, this is going to go on into my next part because, yeah, Tim talked a lot about this. He dragged his employees, he attacked his employees. He had this massive cope session, and if you actually do watch the stream, there's moments where the producer, the person who's actually in charge of the camera, would get onto Tim Pool, and you would see Tim Pool just on his phone, doing nothing, just typing away, not paying attention, not even participating in the actual conversation, just not caring. And I think you can kind of see it here. It might not be a good example, but like there's moments where he's just looking at his phone. He's not even participating in the chat. He's not caring. And it's just, blah, blah, woe is me. I'm this $1 billion man, and we're going to shut down the company because I don't care. I don't get to see the sunlight. Well, I come over here to the beginning of his latest stream. Now, this is currently going on as the time of recording this and talking about this and streaming this. And Tim came out and said this today. So let me play it. Gives some understanding, not justification, but understanding of why he might have felt the way he did.
It's been one of the reasons why we take security very seriously, and it is why we have been working as hard as we can to make sure everything operates. It is that we're getting married, and I'm having a child. This is...
And I'll let the clapping go on because I can understand that. That is actually a good thing. That is a admirable thing. And that kind of gives you the understanding of why Tim's been freaking out a little bit here or there, or being more panicking about security issues or what's going on in the company, and being very frustrated with people not pulling the workload or whatnot. He's about to have his own family, his very own family. And this is above and beyond, your brother and sister, mother and father. This is you bringing a life into this. This is you establishing your own legacy, your own system. And Tim's been talking a lot about legacy, this livelihood, all this stuff for a while now. And it kind of gives you an understanding of why he probably did go nuclear, why he did freak out. He's worried about his own family. He's worried about his own kid that he's about to be having and his wife. And like, this is admirable stuff, but it still doesn't negate the fact that you went nuclear on your employees, and you need to figure out a better way to be a leader. Now, he did announce that they're also going to be going out and hiring a CEO so that he can have some more family time and be able to actually deal with his family. But you still need to go around and not do what you did in public. You don't drag your employees in public. Don't drag the people you work with in public. I might joke and kid with the people that I do business with, and I might make fun of my buddy Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, or Cloud, or anything like that, but I'm not going to openly come out here and drag my producer, for example, Gal, and through the mud. I'm not going to say that she does awful work. I'll joke with her, but I'm not going to say she ever does awful work. If I have a problem with Gal, I'll take her aside and say, hey, I need you to quit doing this. And to be very honest here, Gal does phenomenal work, and I couldn't do half the stuff I do without Gal. but that's just an example here. There's a multitude of better ways to go about doing what you did, and I feel like he did what he did because of all the stress and the fear that he might be going on right now. Again, not a justification, just more of an understanding of what he did. But that's just my take on all this. I think he still needs to learn how to be a better leader. I think he still needs to go on and do better in his life, and hopefully things are on the up and up, and things get better for you in the long run. But congratulations on your kid. Congratulations on getting married. Become a better leader. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video live, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. And I just finished that one. Did he not have a nasty divorce not long ago? No. No. Tim's never been married. That would have been Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is the one that went through that really nasty divorce. That was just disgusting and disturbing. And a lot of information came out that people didn't want to know and didn't need to know. Now, I think there's still more to that divorce than what people are led to believe and what people actually think is going on there. I think neither side is being very truthful and honest in what was actually going on there. But there's some evidence to say that, I think Steven obviously did some wrong. I think his ex-wife was obviously doing something wrong. So it's a multitude of things there. When it comes to Tim Pool, ultimately, though, there's not much I can say there other than I don't think he's a good leader. I've never been of the opinion that Tim Pool's a good leader. Leadership is a quality that you can learn over time, but it takes years of practice, years of knowing what to do, and it's one of the many reasons why I don't ever want to be a leader. I'm very happy and fine in my life that I live right now, where I'm not a leader, where I am just me, where I am just, going out there and having fun. I don't ever want to be in a leadership position. I don't like that role. I know it's not for me. I can do it if I have to, but ultimately and fundamentally, I'm just, me personally, I'm just antithetical to the idea of ever being in a leadership position. Mainly because I know my strengths and weaknesses. I'm a creative and I'm a worker. Put me in an area where I could just go and work. Don't put me in an area where I have to lead, because I don't know how to lead. I'll use Gal again. Guess what? Gal's been trying to figure out how to use OBS now for months. She came to me and asking questions on how does OBS work, blah, 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 blah. And you want to know what I told her? I know absolutely nothing about how to actually teach you how to use OBS other than here's a bunch of YouTube videos, figure it out for yourself. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. I'm not a leader. I'm a doer. Give me the tools to go do my job. Let me go do my job. Get the heck out of my way. I'll go take care of that. But I know what a leader is. I know I know what it takes to be a leader. And when I see Tim, I've always seen a guy that he doesn't like being a leader. He's never wanted to be a leader. He wants to sit there, complain, and have everything else kind of just done. He can do the job, but he can't be a leader. And this is another thing. Most managers in the modern era aren't actually leaders. Yeah, it's a fun fact that a manager isn't always a leader. Just because you can be a manager and you can, manage a bunch of people doesn't mean you can actually lead the people. It just means you're good at the managerial side. It doesn't mean you can actually inspire your employees, and that doesn't mean your employees automatically respect you. It just means you're a manager and you get paid a lot of money. It's a fundamental thing and a fundamental philosophy ultimately that leads somebody to be a leader. And not to take it to a political level, hey Steve, but not to take this to like an uber political level. Look at modern day politics, okay? If you look at modern day politics, and hey, Carl Carlson, with modern day politics, you can actually easily see, and we'll use politician versus leader here. Kamala Harris is a politician. She's a manager. She knows how to manage things, even though she's not good at it, but just follow me here. She's a manager. She's managerial. She knows how to do all this management stuff, but she's not a leader. She's just not. You take a look over at Trump. Trump's management, but also Trump's a leader. Because Trump knows when to go out there and inspire what needs to be inspired in the people. He knows how to go out there and actually talk to people when they need to be talked to. He knows how to lead by example when you need to instill this breath of hope after getting, popped one in the ear, having one popped in your ear and stuff like that. You stand up and you yell, fight, fight, fight in the face of fear, because that's what a leader does. Kamala Harris doesn't have those qualities. Kamala Harris is just a manager, and a manager isn't a leader per se, but a leader can be a manager. Leaders work next to the people they manage. That's right. And taking this back to Tim Pool, I've never seen Tim Pool as a leader. I've seen Tim Pool as a worker and a manager, not a leader. He can create multiple big companies and stuff like that. That doesn't mean he knows how to lead. She passes the work on to others. She is unqualified to do. Well, I was more using her as an example of she knows how to manage people. She doesn't know how to lead people. Or when it comes to Tim, I can believe he knows how to manage people. He just doesn't know how to lead people. And when you start getting to a certain size company like Tim has, which, my God, why do you need a company that big for what you do? You no longer need just a manager. You need a leader. You need somebody to actually be able to inspire the individuals and inspire people to actually do work, and also go around there and help people out when they need help, and help teach them what they need to do to be a better employee. There's a difference between owner and manager. Yeah, that too. There's a lot of difference. I was more taking this from the leadership position. And hail, Jack. I was more taking this from the leadership position, because I think ultimately one of the most fundamental points in running a company or running something is, or even just doing a basic task, you need a leader. You always need that leader person. You need that person that knows, hey, now's the time to work. Now's the time to, bust some heads. Now's the time to whip the dick out on the table and smack it down. Now's my time to actually take up the role, because it needs to get done. And every so often, that also means yelling at people and firing people. And I don't believe Tim Pool has that capability. Doesn't mean he can't learn to have that capability. I just don't think he has it. And I don't think he ever has. So, you would call Tim Pool a money man, not a manager? I'm not trying to be quiet for the sake of being quiet right now. I'm doing that because I'm thinking. Steve, I think we have a long conversation for Thursday. I think we have a long conversation. He can buy things, not run them. You know what, Steve? I think you're onto something here. Why is Steve making sense? God damn it, Steve. You're supposed to call me the nerd, you freaking nerd. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I was also trying to clean up my PC before you're sober. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I was also trying to clean up my PC before going live, because I think that was some of my problems, is I was having memory issues. Not like RAM memory issues. I meant like too much storage space. I think that was part of my problem. And I was updating a graphics card. So after stream, I have to install a brand new graphics card. I need to install updates to my graphics card. So yay! No GTA today. Wait, what? You know what? I'm not gonna try to figure that out. But let's get into another topic, shall we? Because we had some awesome, well, not awesome news, but some breaking news today. So this is gonna be a YouTube topic. And another long form discussion topic, as I usually do. Blah 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 blah. But let me get this going, and whatever, on the count of three. One, two, three. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Warmy. I'm coming at you with another video. And just the other day, we had it finally announced that the Blade movie would be going on a basically long hiatus. Blade has been delayed once again and will no longer release on November 7th, 2025. Now, this movie has been in development hell for many years at this point. Roughly 4 years, this movie has been in development hell. And when we come over here to Screen Rant actually has like this really good breakdown of what's going on here, on how bad this development has been, because they have the timeline here of how bad it's been. Blade is announced at Comic-Con in 2019. So this movie's been announced since then, and since then, we've had the film adds its first director and first writer in 2021. Blade makes his first appearance in the MCU. 2022, filming plans are delayed. First director leaves the project. Blade signs in its second director and new writer in late 2022. Changes made to cast and script in 2023, production affected by strikes. And we scroll down here, Blade is pushed back to 2025. Blade's second director leaves the project in 2024, so on and so forth. This has been a consistent issue with the Blade movie and with MCU. They don't know how to do this. They don't know what they're doing. At one point in time, they weren't even going to be making it about Blade. They were going to be making about Blade, aka Blade's daughter, who's also named Blade. They were going to set it in the 60s and make it all about racisms, and Blade probably going after KKK vampires or something like that. I don't know. They were having all these weird decisions that were going on in this movie. Marshall Ali has threatened to leave the movie. This movie isn't going well. It has never gone well, and it's honestly a current indictment of modern day Hollywood. It's really shocking to see that anybody could fail this miserably with such a simple concept: a vampire hunter going around hunting vampires and killing vampires. It writes itself. It was able to be made years ago when we had Wesley Snipes' Blade, which, again, is the one true Blade and will always be the one true Blade, as he so lovingly reminded us over in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. This is just shocking to think this is still going on, but let's get into the Deadline article that actually announced this. Marvel Studios' Blade removed from 2025 release schedule. Disney dates Predator Badlands instead. And what comes as no surprise, Marvel Studios' Blade won't be coming out on November 7th, 2025. Rather, Disney is opening 20th Century Studios' Predator Badlands. The reboot of the famed Wesley Snipes Marvel movie was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 with two Oscar winner Marshall Ali starring production. The project saw two directors exit. First, Bassam Tariq, who was eyeing a fall 2022 start. Then Yana Damnai got a try. Mia Goth is set to play supervillain Lilith in the Vampire Slayer movie. She told Deadline's Natalie Stedick at the world premiere of her A24 movie Maxine that in regards to the Blade delays, Marvel really care. They do. They want to make a great movie. That's the sense that I get from them, and that feels good. I don't believe her. I fundamentally believe that they're incapable of making this movie, and that I can't believe it. At the same time, I can't believe you're so inept that you can't make this movie. But let's be real here. Yes, we're getting reports that Marvel's ditching a bunch of their woke activists. They're trying to actually change things around, and they're trying to go into a good direction. But if it's so impossible for anybody to make a simple movie about a vampire hunter going out and hunting vampires, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's your malfunction. Why can't you actually make this work? Oh, it's because you're completely incapable of making this work. You can't go out there and show a bloody, gory vampire hunter movie with a lead character actually being masculine and dominant, and you just you can't do it in modern day. You can't do it in modern Hollywood. Even if the main character is a black male, you're going up against Lilith. Well, that's a female character, so now we got to figure out how to make Lilith, uh, uh, you know, emotional, kind of like a victim of circumstance. She's not truly the villain, and blah 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 blah. All within modern day logic and all in modern day abilities and this whole intersectional feminism that they have permeating throughout Hollywood. You're physically incapable of doing that. So the only thing you can do is constantly delay the movie, constantly reshoot the movie. Honestly, you haven't even shot the movie yet, so you don't even have a script to reshoot or even delay. At this point in time, you might as well just shelf the movie and never even try to put it out. And it sucks to say there will only ever... doesn't really suck to say. It's honestly awesome to say that there is only one Blade. There will ever only be one Blade, and it's Wesley Snipes. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video live. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. And I did see that Legatus had to dip out, so have a good night, Legatus. You're an awesome dude. But no GTA tonight. No, all comments in the chat are directed at Dermy. Legatus, awesome. No problem. I was just surprised as you were not on Tomby's stream either. And I saw no mention in your community section. Oh, is Tomby not streaming tonight? Oh, sucks. Not really. I have to go up against him here in a few weeks over in Fantasy League, which, by the way, before I answer anything on the Blade... Oh, you're not leaving? Oh. I thought you were. I saw the sleepies, so I thought you were going to bed. Shut up. You screwed up? How did you screw up? Oh, well, yeah, you screwed up royally. But I just want to say, I don't know what the fuck happened this week in my fantasy league. I don't know what the hell happened to my team, but for some fucking reason, my team just decided, you know what? We're just not going to perform. No, not at all. Not one player actually decided, you know what? We're going to perform, other than freaking AJ Brown. Yeah, AJ Brown. Oh, I'm trying to get logged into Sleeper right now. I'm so fucking pissed. I'm so fucking pissed. Why the hell did you think it was a good idea to put me up on your projector? Well, because you love me and you think I'm so amazing and beautiful. I mean, look at me. I'm stunning and brave. A lapse of judgment, Steve. Oh, fuck you. But like I had a player, Tank Dell. I had a player that literally scored 0 points. And you want to know what's even more embarrassing about that? He played. He played and he scored 0 fucking points. He was rostered, he was going to play, and he didn't score a single goddamn point. How do you do that? That's physically impossible. Oh, but then it comes to my 2 star running backs, my 2 of my most powerful players. One of them gets hurt, hit in the back, and collapses, hurting his knee for a little while. He ended up finishing out the game, but he got hurt. And the other guy just said, you know what? I'm not even going to try. This is going to be one of just a few weeks. I just said, nah, I'm not even going to try. Fuck you. Bro, I had a negative player last week. Static had a negative player. I don't even know how it's possible to have negative points, but I don't know what the hell happened. I don't. Hell, if I would have known that Tank Dell wasn't going to perform, and if I would have known, if I would have known, you know, that Montgomery and Dobbins, well, Montgomery, he gets a pass because he did get hurt for a little while. But if I would have known Montgomery was going to get hurt and Dobbins was going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to I'm just going to jerk my dick the whole time, I would have fucking played Irving and White. Two of my newest players, I would have fucking played them. But no, can't have a good fucking week. God damn it. I fucking hate this goddamn game. And the funnier part is when I was comparing myself to Gal's team wasn't really performing as well either. Nothing was making sense. I don't get what the hell happened. Nothing was making any logical sense on what the fuck was going on yesterday. It just, god damn. I hate the game, but you want to know what? I want to keep playing the game because next week I'm going up against freaking Cal, and I want to get that winning streak back. I need to get that winning streak. And the sole people I want to now beat and crush over and over again is Dom, Prof, and Gal, because those are the easiest people to beat. And when I go up against Gal again, I want to fundamentally destroy her because and pray to God she doesn't sedate my fucking team. God damn. I hate it and I love it, and it pisses me off. It royally pisses me off. God. Here, let's get into another quick topic before I start screaming and shouting about fantasy some more, because god fucking damn it, it pissed. The worst part about fantasy, literally, the worst part about fantasy football is when you're winning. Oh god, it feels so good. It feels so goddamn good to win. Oh yeah. You know, I beat Shock, I beat Prof, I beat Dom. I was doing good, and I was like, yes. I've almost chucked my phone a few times, Steve. Don't you worry, I've almost done it. But then, you know, after you fundamentally crush Prof, and then you have one bad week where for some fucking reason none of your players choose to play, he comes out here and starts laughing at you, even though I'm pretty sure Prof didn't have a good week either. Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure Prof had god damn it, he beat Tomby. Fuck Prof. Fuck them all. I hate you. I hate everything. Everything that happened this week is fucking awful. I'm gonna just fucking scream when it comes to this goddamn game. It's on the top of my tongue, and every fucking night, every fucking night, I check it. I open that app up before I go to bed, and I go like, okay, should I do this? Should I do this? I start second guessing myself. When I have a free time at work, I'm tweaking my team a little bit. I'm constantly fucking doing it, and I fucking hate this goddamn game, and I love it all at the same time. Fuck Shock for getting me into this shit. I want people to clip this out, and I want people to send this to Shaka Zulu. I hate you. I want you to know that. I fundamentally hate you for getting me addicted into this shit. I don't know. I don't know. Dude, I went from fucking 8th. I went from like up in the top bracket finally all the way down to 8th. I'm still going up against Gal again. God damn, I should have never given her Derrick Henry. I should have never done it. I fucking hate this game. I hate it. But you know what else I hate? I hate DC Comics, because come over here. DC Comic appears to malign YouTuber Jeremy Griggs, aka D-Day Cobra and Geeks Gamers, by turning him into a Blue Beetle villain. So this is coming in a new Blue Beetle comic with Jaime Reyes, where his friend, I shit you not, got radicalized by YouTubers. And you can take a look at this guy right here. And yeah, you could see the Jeremy Griggs inspiration. But I'm also more of the belief that these are just stand-ins for all YouTubers, and you can see inspirations in different YouTubers when we start scrolling down here. But I have to take a look at this. So this is going to be the comic that it comes in, and you get this whole point. 2 years ago, the kinds of videos he shared took a sharp turn. Unlike the mainstream media, we don't wear makeup. We don't spread lies. We don't have a bias. We believe in the truth. The left tries to tell us that multiculturalism is the answer to all of society's problems. Yet they criticize us for being men, for being white, for being straight. They want to emasculate you. And it is funny seeing this come from DC Comics, a company that famously has been making most of its characters gay and promoting all the gay characters and, taking away a lot of more famous white roles. Let's be real honest here. And trying to do the whole all new, all different kind of thing and make whole new multiculturalism. It is interesting to see them say that. But you can see, you can obviously see Jeremy Griggs' inspiration. It's pretty front and center. But when you scroll down here, you can see they did a whole lot more than just Jeremy. Like, for crying out loud, you have Tim Pool right here. This is obviously Alex Jones. Oh, I can't think of his freaking name, but they made him the Red Skull. The lobster. Oh, fuck, what's his name? He's with he's with Daily Wire, but you can see the inspiration there. You can see like people's inspiration. So they went after all YouTubers. It wasn't just Jeremy. It was everybody. You can see their different inspiration points. I'm trying to see. I feel like this is supposed to be a stand-in for maybe a mixture of Ben Shapiro and at the same time what's his name from the more masculine gruff guy, Jordan Peterson. Thank you, Jack Tarlad. This one's Jordan Peterson, but this is, I think, is a mixture of like Ben Shapiro plus guy with glasses, beard. What is a woman? Oh, what is a woman? And I'm not racist, or am I racist? Fuck, I can't think of his gosh darn name. What is his name? I hate not being able to remember names. I can only remember faces. Matt Walsh, thank you. I feel like this is supposed to be like a mixture of them, because you can see like they mixed and matched people together. Because I take one good long look at this guy here and I go like, I can kind of see a nerd-erotic mix right here just because of the beard, because of how some of this looks. They just maligned YouTubers, but this is how a lot of these freaks think of YouTubers. This is how they always just attack. We're all Brett Cooper. That's a good one. PragerU. I would say PragerU is probably right over here, because this kind of, or maybe Breitbart. But this is just how they view us. This is always how they viewed YouTubers. They hate YouTubers. That's why in the Batman, you have the Riddler being this freaking YouTuber freakazoid. Well, they can't show Candace Owens, Jack Tarlap, because then that proves that they're not all angry straight white men. Okay, they can't show Candace Owens. Okay, and they can show Brett Cooper, but let's be real fair here. Brett Cooper is just Ben Shapiro in makeup. Yeah, insert right-leaning commentator here. That this is what they're supposed to be for them, and this is how Hollywood and these lefty freaks all think. They think because you talk on YouTube, obviously you're just going to radicalize a bunch of people. It's this whole idea of the alt-right pipeline that has been disproven time and time again, but they have to constantly bring it back up that for some reason, because you're going to watch Tim Pool, the next thing you know, you're going to watch Nick Fuentes, and then you're going to be joining the Southern Brotherhood or some crazy shit like that, which doesn't actually happen. And in fact, more often than not, you get fed more left-wing politics after Tim Pool. You more usually are going to be shown more lefty individuals, because that's the main thing. And also, most of these people are, if not hardline conservative, like normal everyday conservative, they're also centrists, moderates, normal individuals. But your trying to explain that, though, to these comic book writers who all believe that if you're the left of Mao, you're an alt-right Yahtzee. Okay? That's what you're trying to do. So that's why when you see, these commentators all on this thing, you can see different inspirations for each one. You can see different angles. And it's why it's not really shocking to think that this is supposed to be a stand-in for Jeremy Griggs, while at the same time being a stand-in for all sorts of other YouTubers and commentators alike. Heck, when I keep looking through this, I'm still trying to see, oh, maybe that's more of a Matt Walsh one. I still try to piece pieces and parts of people together to point out, like, I can tell you where this one is. I can tell you where that one is. I can tell you who's who. Like, come on. There's no way in hell that this guy isn't Alex Jones. And the only reason they're gonna say that it's not Alex Jones is because they gave him long hair and a mustache. But it's like, you have a very larger man with a cigar yelling into a mic. That's Alex Jones. You can't tell me this isn't Tim Pool, your frickin' Beanie Boy right here in a jacket. And you're going to say this isn't Jordan Peterson when it's blatantly Jordan Peterson? Like, come on. You guys can't actually believe this. Centrists and right-leaning. Yep, yeah. Because Jordan Peterson is honestly a liberal. He's freaking Canadian. He's a goddamn liberal that just believes in free speech. How do you think all these people are the same frickin' person? Tim Pool, I can sit here, even in my segment that I'm going to try to upload before the end of all this, even my segment where I'm talking about Tim Pool, I said the dude's a liberal. I mentioned the dude's a liberal because it's pretty obvious he's a liberal. Hail Lobster, by the way. Like, this isn't out of the realm of normity. This is how these people think. This is how they depict you. This is what they truly believe of you. And when you start reading this country was built by your ancestors. Well, yes. This land was overrun by savages before we cleaned the place up. No lies detected. We will not let immigrants replace us. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're coming over by the thousands, taking our jobs, putting our families at risk. Well, yes, it's up to us to stop the invasion. Do not be a specter in the most important battle in history. Oh, a spectator. Jesus Christ. I can't believe that this is an actual thing, but at the same time, I can believe. A liberal is not a leftist, just like a leftist is not a liberal. Exactly. And that's also a fundamental thing, again, because we're more on a political belief system right here. You can take a look at an individual like Sam Cedar, or honestly, turn on Piers Morgan. Just watch a few episodes of Piers Morgan. You get people like Cenk Uygur coming on and everything like that. And you could have Cenk Uygur sit down with Tim Pool. Actually, there's a good Culture War episode where Tim Pool does sit down with Cenk Uygur. And you can watch as Cenk Uygur just breaks his brain trying to argue that Tim Pool is a righty when he's blatantly a lefty, when he's blatantly a liberal. And he's trying to do the whole, you're a far right person, you're all this, you're all that, your audience is far right, and it's like, I'm blatantly a liberal. I believe in I like abortion. Well, I don't like abortion. I abhor it, but I think abortion should be legal. I think all this, some very liberal policies, and it's like, yeah, he's nothing like us. The only thing I really agree on with Tim Pool is guns, and the other thing is free speech. That's about it. That's right, Steve. I'd rather be right and wrong than wrong. These wokies are the real conspiracy theorists. Oh, blatantly. These people are the real conspiracy theorists. There was posts going around today. And again, this is more political, so just follow me here. There was posts going around today from leftists trying to argue the only reason Donald Trump is going up in the polls and in the betting markets is because a massive whale, okay, a person who with tons of money is going in there and manipulating the markets to make it look like he's actually going up in the betting markets. But in reality, Kamala Harris is doing better than Donald Trump. And it's like, what the? You guys are just nuts. You guys don't understand reality. And it goes to an all around point. These lefties, they don't understand reality. They don't understand common sense. They're going to take a look at my Trumpy trout, and I'm willing to bet you money. I am willing to bet you money if a random leftist came in right now and they saw Trumpy trout up there, they'd probably go like, oh, look, he's making fun of Donald Trump. When it's like, no, I like Donald Trump. I just like the Trumpy trout. I think it looks funny. But they have this incapability to actually laugh at themselves or understand why people might be drawn to this kind of stuff, why they might be interested in a thing here or there, that they can't understand it at a fundamental level. So, and I another thing, saw a Tucker Carlson video, and I wish I could find this Tucker Carlson interview, but he was interviewing an individual who was looking into the more mindset of liberals, and he said if this guy who Tucker Carlson was interviewing, he said very clearly, if Donald Trump wins in November, which I hope he does, by the way, and I think he is, but I'm not a betting man, so I'm not placing my money. You guys got to go out there and vote, and if you're not voting, I'm gonna beat you with a stick. Except for Legatus, he's a Leaf. He gets an excuse. Jesus Christ, why do I even have a Canadian in my chat? No, I love you, Legatus. If Donald Trump wins, these people who are fundamentally broken will have a mental breakdown, the likes of which we have never seen. You think the screaming girl from last time is funny? You think all the craziness we saw last time was insane? We haven't seen it yet. If Donald Trump wins, which all signs point to he's going to win, I am hoping he wins. I pray that he wins. The amount of insanity that will be unleashed on the world overnight by these freaks that are stuck in their mental worldview, that are incapable of connecting and understanding where the other side is ever coming from, or even understanding a basic argument of theirs, will be everything that happened on November 6th onward and on January 21st, 2016, everything you saw then is going to be amplified to 100. The George Floyd riots are going to look like cake and good times compared to what we are going to see. And I say this as a man willing to see that. It's going to be terrifying and funny all at the same time. You're going to just laugh at them. And you have to realize, like, this is the way we have to go. You have to get through this nastiness that we're about to see. The Summer of Love was just a test run for what the leftoids will / might do. I'm going to say they will do. I'm going to say they will do. Because they're primed to do it. They're just primed. And I agree, Isaac. Stay prepared. Steve, board up your windows. Yeah. Mainly you. You live in a weird area. And yes, only U.S. citizens should vote in the U.S. election. That's 100% true. If you are not a U.S. citizen and you're not going to vote you do not get a vote. You don't. The dude hasn't dropped out and is literally being hunted. He clearly isn't staying in the race for his own personal agenda. That's right. He's doing it because he truly believes and cares about America. And there is like a bit of ego and narcissism that Trump has. No Trump supporter is going to look you in the eye and say he doesn't have an ego and he doesn't have some narcissistic tendencies. But he 100% is doing this at this point because he truly believes in what he's doing. Fuck you, Steve. I hate you. Little will Steve tell you, even though the cheapest house in his hood is $650,000, that's just for a trailer. In his trailer park. Steve's house costs $651,000. So he has this nice trailer. I love you, Steve. Family first. I'll protect my family no matter what. Can't let the left destroy America. That's right, Isaac. But at the same time, don't sink to their level. As tempting as it is, and I know it's tempting. LOL, I rent. I don't believe you. As tempting as it is, by the way, to everyone to sink down to their level. My God, it's tempting. Oh my Lord, it's so tempting sometimes. Just to get down there in the mud and start. We can't play into their hand. We can't do that. So always think before you act. That's right. We are the peaceful side. January 6th was a fuck up. A monumental fuck up. We can never do that again. And shout out to Isaac, voted Trump Vance yesterday. Oh, that's great. But we need to try to remain the peaceful side as best as possible. And it's gonna sound a little weird, but just follow me as I'm speaking about peaceful and stuff. There are times when you can be a little bit more aggressive. But it's only certain moments when you can do it. It's called justified aggression. And there's only certain times when it is okay. There's only certain positions when it's okay. And that's it gets into a more philosophical discussion that I don't think I can have here on YouTube. So that might have to be a Rumble exclusive sometime. When I can say when it is okay to use a bit of force. Not a lot, but a bit. And again, more philosophical, fundamental belief systems and structures, and something that you're shocked that a retard like me can actually have a conversation on. While renting is good as you can most easily move, at the end of the day, you don't own anything. Getting a mortgage instead of renting, you are investing in your home. That is my opinion. At this point in time, I would just like to rent my own place. I pay for rent right now with my family just because it's the right thing to do. But I would love to just rent my own place, but I can't afford it. I can't. It costs so fucking much. Even in my small little town, it costs way too much to rent. I was reading something from that was just sent to me. Sorry. Oh, apparently Beardo can't take jokes. So, let's get into. Before I get into the next topic, what I want to say is again, go out and vote. Let your vote matter. Get your friends and family out to vote. No matter what, if you have to throw them in a van and force them to vote with a cattle prod, make them. We need to vote. Too big to rig is something that I really believe in. Too big to rig is what we need to push fundamentally at this point. Oh, Steve's basically renting down. I like that. Always use the soapbox and the ballot box first. That is correct, Isaac. That is 100% correct, and I agree everything that you just said there. Soapbox and ballot box as long as we can. And that's the thing. That's the scary thing. Because these people want you to go out there. And I close out the article. I'm going to pull it back up from that park place. These people fundamentally want you to go out there. These people desire it. And as much as I actually do agree, I think January 6th was a FBI plot, and there's a lot of questions here. But if you do what they want, if you go out there and act violent and act like a ruffian, you're playing into their hand. You're playing into what they believe you are. You're playing into all of this stuff. You can't do it. You fundamentally can't do it. It is the wrong play. It is the worst play. And you become nothing more than the caricature that they already have you as, and they already pegged you as. It's not a good idea. It's fundamentally not. And I get the frustration. I get the rage and the anger. But you can't do it. You got to let your voice be heard. And the scariest thought is they want to take your voice away. They want to take your ability to speak away. They want to take your ability to vote away. And you can't see my hands right now, but I'll do it up here. They want to take away your ability to speak, your ability to vote, and your ability to do anything. The scariest thought is that without those, people don't have a way to actually vent their frustration. They don't have a way to actually articulate what is going on. They don't have a way to push back. Another good example is they want to take away the Electoral College. And for people that aren't in America, you don't understand what the Electoral College is and how these things work. And a lot of these liberal city pundits, they don't understand the Electoral College, and they try to say it's some archaic system that needs to be gotten rid of. The Electoral College allows people to speak. It allows people to let their voice be heard. Because without it, my little podunk state of Kansas would be at the whims and the dictation of New York, California. I would never get my own thoughts out there. I would never be allowed to actually speak. My opinions would be moot at the end of the day. Kansas would be nothing more than a slave state to the coastal elites, to the people that go out there and call us a flyover state because we're not important. They would abuse their power and their abilities on my friends and family because they don't understand the system and why it's so important and why it's fundamentally a requirement for our system. And without that, without the Electoral College, and this is a good example, Kansas, Wyoming, Nebraska, Oklahoma, all these states that are just flyover states that don't really matter, you're nothing more than a slave to them. You're nothing more than a servant to them. And if you aren't allowed to have your voice be told, bad things happen. And I don't want to live in that world where that's going on because I'm terrified of what would happen. I'm absolutely terrified. That's why I don't want that stuff to happen. That's right. We would be big slaves to the big city, says Janet. That is 100% correct. People who want to get rid of the Electoral College are the exact reason we have the Electoral College. Democracy is mob rule tyranny. Exactly. The U.S. is a republic for a reason. 100% correct. We have our system of governance for a very specific reason, and I wish more people would understand that because it is. Our system of governance is so beautiful in the way it was structured and the way it was built and how it actually goes about doing things. The founding fathers it's like poetry. It's like art. And when you start sitting down and looking at it and fundamentally understanding how it works, it's like, God, they were smart. And the only thing they got wrong was they didn't institute an electoral college within states, and they actually made it illegal to do that. The only thing they did wrong. But they also never wanted us to grow this big, so there's that. We've done a lot of things that they would be rolling in their graves for. A lot of things. We have long since gone past what the founding fathers would have wanted. Yeah, founding fathers definitely directly inspired by God. Yeah. And a lot of people like to always, and I'll say this, a lot of people want to go around there and say that separation of church and state, yes, but also no. Because so much of our founding documents were inspired by the belief of God and our belief in the Judeo-Christian values, so on and so forth. Actually, the majority of our government was inspired by the system. That's why when you get atheists saying God doesn't matter and we shouldn't have God here, blah 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 blah, separation of church and state, whatever. Actually, the founding fathers designed our system so much so that yes, there's a separation. We don't have a national church or like a government church because that's wrong. But they understood the importance of things like church, for example, and they understood that the church's job was to always cultivate the culture and cultivate the spirit, and that it is important for people to go to church due to that belief, due to the beliefs that happen there and the cultivation and the spiritual uplifting and some of the things that happen along with that. Like some of the beliefs that the founding fathers had is beautiful. It is just, it is a thing of just pure glory to see. Yes. Exactly, Isaac. It was supposed to be that government can't influence religion, not that religion can't influence government. And it was also supposed to be that, you know, we shouldn't have like a national church. We shouldn't have like a government sanctioned church or something like that, or a government sanctioned belief. We actually do sort of have one. It's Judeo-Christian values. So Christianity, Judaism, that kind of stuff, like that's what our government is solely founded upon. And that's also kind of why all other religions don't really mix well with our belief structures. Fun fact. But because of that, we had a certain belief system that was just innately within our system that most of the founding fathers never believed that people would actually walk away from. They thought that was insane. The Bible said we shouldn't have a king, right? I don't believe so. The Bible says that actually we should have a king. We do have a king. But the reason why we don't have a king here in America, for example, is because it's because of some of the things that the founding fathers dealt with back home, back in England, or back throughout history. It's some of these different belief structures that we have. Kings can actually do shit. Presidents are actually encumbered. And a king is divinely chosen by God themselves, while presidents are chosen by the people. But there is, fun fact, there is a contingency of people that want to bring back the monarchy. Actually want a constitutional monarchy and to instill a king within America or a royal family within America. Now, we sort of have royal families within America, political royalty, so on and so forth, but we don't have like an overt royal family, which should, let's be real fair here. In a couple of years' time, Baron Trump will 100% be the king of America. I fall on that. Baron Trump is our true future leader. 100%. I'm on board the Baron train. Choo choo. But okay, enough philosophical discussions of governments and political stuff right now, and how our system was actually supposed to work and how it should work, and hopefully, you know, good things happen in the future as our great and powerful orange trout takes office. All hail the Trumpy trout. The Bible was actually declared king when this nation was founded by several forefathers. I could believe that. I'm not perfect in a lot of my history and stuff like that, and also my and also through catechism, I'm not perfect with like my religious history either. But Canada is a constitutional monarchy, and many want to dump the British royalty. MABA. Make Britain great again? No. Try to figure out MABA. Well, here's Thomas Paine book called Common Sense. Ooh, that actually sounds like a good read. But no, so if you want to get a basic understanding of like a constitutional monarchy within the American system, for example, good people to listen to is actually Aidan Paladin, because she's a monarchist. And I don't disagree with her, but at the same time, I do disagree. Make America British again? Fuck that. We fought a war for a reason. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that. But they do make a decent argument, though. Like Aiden Paladin, for example, makes a decent argument as to why we need a monarchy within the American system, for example, and why that is important to a fundamental country and stuff like that. I don't disagree, but at the same time, I don't agree because I don't like, having something always over me other than God and, all my religious beliefs. But like, I believe a monarchy inevitably deteriorates into tyranny. And I don't like that. Yeah, that's usually how it goes with me, Isaac. Like the monarchists, like they have several really good points. And then several other really bad points that ultimately boil down to I have no choice over who actually leads me. So unless the family is somebody that I actually like, I'm not gonna probably like it. And even to that point, like we'll take let's say Trump gets installed as God King and is the king of America, blah 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 blah. Just in this hypothetical situation, let me take a swig of water real quick. For this hypothetical situation, let's just say that's the case, okay? So once Trump passes, Trump Jr. or Eric Trump takes over, okay? Simple enough. Then you have Barron, which I'm 100% on the Barron train. Okay, then you have Barron take over. Who's to say in 2-3 years' time, or generation after Barron, or so on and so forth, that there won't be a Trump that comes into power that would be the actual tyrannical dictator, who would be the fundamental authoritarian that people are actually truly afraid that Trump is, and who says that that's not actually the case. Who's to say that the Trump wouldn't actually be a radical leftist and instill communism across the board? Who's to say that that's not the case? That's one of the reasons why I disagree with the monarchy and where we choose that one family. It's like not a good idea. Sir William Blackstone was the most based British monarchist from history. He basically believed in the same constitutional rights we have here, except in England, and also having a king who was good. There's a fundamental problem with that, and it's the idea that a king is good. So, what is good? What defines that good belief? Like, good to you could be evil to another. So just because you say somebody's good doesn't mean that he truly is good. For example, there's people that think Joe Biden is good. There's people that think that George W. Bush is good. People that think Clintons are good. So you need that. There's no like fundamental belief structure as to what is good. And again, over time, unless you can find a way to elect out your king, which is probably nigh impossible, who's to say that they don't become evil over time? Exactly. Oh, yep. Thank you. All men are imperfect. Only God is good. That is why kings fail. They are human. Exactly. Oh, what happens when the king is bad? Hard to stop. Exactly. That's the fundamental part of the monarchist argument where I can't agree with. As much as I like what they talk about, I think it's a good idea, and I can't get past that part. And that's why a lot of these arguments, whether it's monarchists or and honestly anarchists, and like true anarchists, not the lefty anarchists, and honestly communism actually falls into this as well. They're utopic views of the world. And what do I mean by that? And again, I did not expect to get into the philosophical discussions. I still have one more topic to hit. But utopic views of the world, they always seem nice, and they're always nice for a short period of time. Very short period of time, except for communism. They're never nice. It always sounds good. there's systems to this that sound amazing and beautiful, and it's like, oh, I could have such a wonderful time here, but they inevitably deteriorate because it's a utopic view. It's a view based on, you think the world can actually function this way, when in reality the world doesn't function this way. You know, you're not taking into account the negative sides of the world. You're not taking into account, for anarchists that believe that there should not be any government, what happens when you have disputes, what happens when you have, you know, trade disagreements. Or honestly, a really good argument is always the Rhodes argument, where, okay, so if everything's done by a private corporation, then who's to say that the private corporation will not rise up and start, you know, being the authoritarian dictators, or so on and so forth. Like, there's arguments there. There's arguments on each little thing, and they say, well, this is good, this is good, this is good because of the then and now, and they don't realize that the ramifications later on in life aren't as good. That's that utopic view. So when you get into the idea, when you realize that there is no such thing as a utopic view, your fundamental belief structure must then be, how can we make it as good as humanly possible? And that humanly part is the key thing there. Because when you add in the humanly, you start understanding that no, things can't be utopic. Humanly actually means we're flawed. We are a fallen people. We are a fallen state. We can't do anything perfect. There will never be a utopic view. So within the realm that we actually live in, how can we make it as good as humanly possible? Yep, it was always good on paper, the utopia, but in implementing it is a different story. The constitutional republic, when done correctly, is tried and true. Exactly, that's why it's lasted so long. God forbid they all vote for what they want. They'll fuck it up. Exactly. It. I don't remember who said it, but it was a quote going around a while ago, and it comes up every so often. If the people learn that they can vote themselves into getting money, they'll vote themselves into getting money. Like, we'll always fuck it up. We always do, because we're humans. We're meant to fuck it up. We're incapable of getting to that utopic era because we are the flawed beings. We live in a fallen world. We live in a world that is incapable of this utopic vision of society. And that's also, there are some super Christian individuals that think that we can get into a utopic view of society as well. And it's like, no, you can't. It's fundamentally impossible. When you realize that utopia is eternally out of grasp, and the only way to get to utopia is honestly to pass on into the next life. And if you lived a good life, and a life that was, you know, faithful and stuff like that to God's order, utopia is in the afterlife. Utopia is the next life. This is the prequel. This is your prologue. This is the story of now, but the later life is where you go in the end to utopia. Those that offer security in exchange for freedom is never a side to be trusted. That's right. And that's also, I'm not gonna lie, every young individual in life, you know, you dabble in like the different philosophies and stuff, and you start looking into it and you go like, man, you know what? This stuff sounds good. This stuff sounds great. Why aren't we doing this? And to be honest, I thought, hey, look, communism. Let's try communism. This system sounds good and great. Oh, wait, no, it always leads to death. Okay, never mind. It's like, if you just, if you look at it, and as a kid, you know, you always get that, well, yeah, we should make college free. Then you start sitting there and thinking nothing's ever free. Nothing's ever free. There's always a cost. There's always something of value that must be exchanged for this good at all times. So when you start thinking of that, it's like the utopic view is free college or free healthcare, so on and so forth. The reality view is these things cost money, and it could be broken down as simply, I don't have it. This hammer, okay? This hammer. I could freely give you this hammer. But let's say I made this hammer. Okay. That means I had to get the piece of wood, I had to make the piece of iron or steel. Is it steel or iron? I don't know. I had to get the piece of wood and the piece of metal. Okay. I then had to craft the piece of metal to be the proper dimensions, to be the proper width and the proper size and the proper shape. At the same time, I had to take the piece of wood. I had to lacquer the wood. I had to design the piece of wood just right so that every time you hit it, it's not going to immediately break. So I had to get the right piece of wood. I had to design it properly. I had to do all that stuff. Seems simple enough, right? But each piece costs its own work, is its own value, its own piece and its own part, and it takes time. With money being a representation of time, by the way. So that means your man hours are going into this. So then you take that into account to all this. How much does this hammer here ultimately cost? Let's say right now it costs $2. That means roughly $1 for each piece. It's never free. And the pieces for each, and this is, again, super layman's terms here. Each piece costs $1 to make. Doesn't mean that it costs $1 to get the parts. That doesn't mean it costs $1 for the parts to get to me. There's these levels and factors that keep going on to all this stuff, and it doesn't work at the end of the day. It just fundamentally falls apart. And let me get Red Android super chat real quick saying, for $2 you should replace Ben on TNME. It'd be nice, but I like Ben. Ben's Ben. Is what it is. And plus, I get into super fundamental levels. Super. I'm a retard on the internet that somehow has the ability to discuss philosophical issues at the same time. Philosophical and fundamental issues, and also deep questions and quandaries in life. Because I just start asking questions, and I go on my own day. But I'm a retard, so there's that. And I will always like to remain the retard on the internet. When you're not the retard on the internet and people think too highly of you, things start getting stale and it's no fun, and then I want to go off and do something. But okay. Running out of water, by the way. And I know I had to do this late, so obviously I'm pushing it back a little further. We're all retards. That's right. Listen. Put out this tweet earlier today, but I'm going to reiterate it again. A lot of people want to be those MVPs or those VIPs and everything like that, and be like very important people and all this stuff. When it's like, no, I want to stay a VRP, very retarded person. That is where I'm happiest, because I'm me. You opted out of FB, man. I'm trying to help. No, you're good. Red Android, you're fundamentally good. I would love to be a guest on TMNE. I would love to be a guest on FNT. I'd love to be a guest on Side Scroll. I'd love to be a guest everywhere. Got to get there one day. I'll get there one day, hopefully. Hopefully they'll see my work. Hopefully people like me, so on and so forth, and eventually I get there. I got to put in the work. I got to put in the effort. I got to put in the time. And by the way, I have connections to G&G. I do. But I'm also very bad at promoting myself, and I'm also very bad of saying, "Hey, yeah, I could come on." I'm bad at that. Fundamentally, I'm bad at that, and I'll always be bad at that. Okay, I need to get into this last topic. That way, I have my second video for tomorrow. So let me get this all set up. You too good for my boomer audience now. I'm not too good for anybody. I'm me. That's who I am. I will always be me, and I will stay being me because I like being me. Because there was a thing that I don't remember who tweeted it out. I don't remember who said what. But somebody recently, and I think this was a few weeks ago on Twitter, I think it was Savvy. But it wasn't Savvy who said it. She was like quote tweeting somebody who was talking about like pandering and being forced to do something, and not being true to themselves. And I was just sitting there, and I fundamentally think, like, to the Star Wars shills out there, to the people that just shill for stuff and can't see the forest through the trees and stuff like that, and just say what needs to be said because they're trying to pander to everybody the entire time. To people that just pander, just sounds exhausting. That sounds boring. Always having to put up this front. No, thank you. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like something. If I like something, I'm going to tell you I like something. Guess what? A good encapsulation of me being me is when I talk about Square Enix. Because everybody wants to say that Square Enix has gone woke, Square Enix is losing, Square Enix is dying, Square Enix is an evil company, you should boycott, blah, 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 blah. And I'm the guy over here saying, I think Square Enix is trying to right the ship. I see Square Enix as trying to do good and is working their hardest to try to fix the problems that they've caused and that they've brought onto themselves. And when you say that, you're not as popular. You're not following the in thing. And it's like, well, no, because I actually believe this. I'm going to give you my proof as to why I think this. I'm going to tell you why I think this. And I'm not going to sit here and just tell you what you want to hear the whole time. I'm going to tell you what I think you should hear. Well, maybe that's a bad idea. Not what I think you should hear, but what I want to say. No, that's not how to put it. Because when I say what I think you should hear that starts sounding like I'm trying to lie to you. No, instead of telling you what you guys want me to tell you, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you what I think you should be told. Something like that. Crimson Zane, shout out to Kick. By the way, I am on Kick and Twitch. And fun fact to all the newer viewers here, the only reason I'm on Twitch is to try to get monetized on Twitch and see how long it takes for me to get banned on Twitch. Because when you're not monetized on Twitch or partnered on Twitch, you can do a lot of stuff on Twitch. My sole goal on Twitch is to see how long it takes to get me banned. Oh, it's me, Red Android. Well, shout out to you, Red Android. Shout out to you over on the Kick side, by the way. And I know my Kick side, I need to do a better job of promoting everything. I can say this, unlike Tim Pool, I have a bad go of promoting myself because I actually do have a day job. I have a day job. I work 8 to whatever. We're getting to the busy times, so shows are going to be later. Trying to do videos on time as I do. Bad at my promoting myself because I have to do something in the day. Do something every single day. Have responsibilities and requirements of me. If I didn't have a day job, if I was financially sound here on YouTube, for example, or wherever, if I could if I could get the money to be big enough every month coming in that I could easily replace YouTube and internet money with what is made at my day job, I would quit my day job. But I can't because I have responsibilities, bills, things of that nature that I have to get done every single day and that take priority. Tending to yourself is more important than tending to the hobby. As much as I want the hobby to grow, I got to tend to myself every single day. Dermy's day job is cooking meth, says Crimson Zane. No, we're not far. So, okay, let me get into this last topic because I need to. And we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, shall we? So I'm going to get into video mode. So as usually, guys, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. And when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, nothing's been going good for this game. And ever since it was announced, people have been Ubisoft has been regretting that decision. And it's been a variety of reasons, whether it's Yasuke, whether it's architecture, whether it's armaments, whether it's all sorts of ahistorical events going on within this game. Nothing's been going good, and the audience has not been silent about their disdain for it. And we come over here to this particular trailer of right here, you can see the 141,000 downvotes that this trailer has gotten just on the American side. And you've been seeing constant disdain for this game. New player sentiment analysis contradicts Ubisoft's claim that Assassin's Creed Shadows has been positive community sentiment. Oh, has positive community sentiment because nobody likes this game, whether it's Japan, America, gamers in general, they all have issues with this game. And one of the big issues with this game was the price point, originally coming in at $70 for the base level game and ranging all the way up to $150 for the collector's edition that only really gave you all season pass, cruddy looking collectible, and at the same time early access. Well, with the announcement of the delay that came out not too long ago, and also less than 2 months away from it actually being released into the ether, no, released in for gamers to actually be able to play. With that happening, they did announce that they were going to be changing stuff up with the distribution of this game and what players were actually going to be paying. And when you come over here to the actual pre-order site, you start noticing, hey, the pre-orders, they're gone. Prices have changed. Well, we finally had it announced what they are doing. Assassin's Creed Shadows Early Access officially canceled as Ubisoft drops Collector's Edition price by $50 amid delays and scrap Season Pass plans. So, with this announcement, we're also fundamentally seeing that they've been gouging audiences this entire time. They never once needed to charge the amount of money that they were charging for any little thing. And they also realized that early access is just beta testing with extra steps and is fundamentally broken in the long run. But we come down here to what was said recently. The Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition will no longer offer early access to the game, with the edition price dropping $50 as a result, so basically $100. In a post on Discord via IGN, Ubisoft confirmed that several factors, including the Assassin's Creed Shadows delay, the cancellation of its planned Season Pass component, and the removal of the 3 days of early access planned as part of its original November 15th release date, caused the net $280 price tag to drop to $230. Well, okay, I thought it was $100. My bad, but that's still an exorbitant amount of money. While the content will mostly remain as initially advertised, some design elements may change, Ubisoft confirms. Buyers of the Collector's Edition are still set to receive the game itself, alongside multiple art pieces, collector's items, and statues of the game's protagonist. And a lot of people were going around saying, like, oh my gosh, this is massive news, this is insane news. Well, honestly, they kind of told you already when it came to the official launch and when they started to announce that they were getting delayed, because when you actually scroll down here to what they originally said, they openly said that they were going to be taking some of this stuff away. Well, the game is we come down here to what was actually put out by the company when they were announcing their actual delays, and we scroll right down here. Furthermore, the company revealed, we are departing from the traditional season pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. The company concluded the game will mark the return of our new release on Steam day one. So they already told us that they were going to be getting rid of early access. They already told us that they were going to get rid of the season pass, and that if you actually pre-order the game, you'll be able to get the first DLC for free, even though that was originally only, I believe, a part of the $100 and up price tag. But all this really is Ubisoft admitting to the audience, admitting to all of us, okay, all of us, that they have actually been gouging us for money because they didn't need it. They just wanted to charge extra money. They just required to charge extra money. And when you get rid of your early access, which is nothing more than a paid beta test, the price tag starts to come down. When you actually give gamers what is the true product, which is no season pass, because that's ridiculous in a single player game, the price tag again starts to come down because they've been actually gouging you. They've been purposely price gouging you for subpar products because they know nobody's actually going to buy their product. They know people aren't going to pay the actual normal amount of money, so they lie to you. They manipulate you. When it started coming out that, oh my gosh, games are going to be digitally purchased, for example, on Steam, one of the big arguments that were going around is this is going to make gaming cheaper. This is going to make it easier for gamers to be a part of the gaming industry. But instead, prices started going up. Games started costing more. Why? Because they could charge you more. They actually could charge you more. It was never about storage space or fundamental product or how much this actually costs to make. It was just, we are going to start charging you more because we can charge you more. And right now, when it comes to Ubisoft charging you more, they're not charging you more because they think the game's actually fundamentally amazing and brilliant and beautiful. They're charging you more because they need a better justification to try to gouge you more so they can start putting it into more subpar product games. But you take a look at this and it's like, you guys never needed to charge us this much in the first place. You never needed to charge the $280 at all. All that was for your season pass and to pay to be a beta tester. The actual product probably does cost around $230, especially when you start looking at what was actually originally in the package and stuff and what was originally offered within the early access bundle. And the collector's edition bundle in here. Let me quickly pull up what was originally in the collector's edition. Give me a moment. Right here. When we actually pull up what was in the original collector's edition, it's nothing fancy. It's nothing cool. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing hip. Yeah, I could probably justify charging this much money for all these little collectible doohickeys within this game. But outside of that, what's really of value here? Oh, cool, a statue, a map, what looks like a hilt. If I actually open the image up in a new tab and I try to zoom in, yeah, it's a hilt for a sword. Cool. Yeah. I'm not gonna pay $280 or $230 for all this again if the game's ultimately subpar. So you've just been screwing us the entire time and been getting away with it because you try to justify it with season pass and early access. Yeah, screw off. You're not getting my money. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now. And I accidentally hit out of my OBS record system, but they will charge you more and they know they will be selling less and need to make up the difference in revenue somehow. Yeah, that's their only justification for actually ever charging you more. And I get it. Okay, we did the whole discussion of what does it cost to actually make a hammer. Okay, what it actually costs to make these games, the only reason they have exorbitant amount of prices on them is because they throw so much money behind the actual development of the game that is ridiculous amounts of money that they need to try to justify charging you $70. And they only charge you that $70 because they're trying to recoup the money that they lost in the development of the game because they spent too much money on the base development. When AA games and indie games are coming out that look better than a AAA studio game that costs less money to even develop the game, you know you have issues. You know you have problems. You know there's something not clicking well here. And it's just going to keep getting worse over time. And again, I go back to the digital purchase. We were all told that buying things digitally was going to end up leading us to a cheaper world. Our games are going to be cheaper. Everything's going to be cheaper. You know, you won't have the physical space anymore. But instead, what did it do? Prices just started going up again. Games started costing more and more. $70 for a base game. That's ridiculous. Why would there ever be $70 for a base game? We used to be $50, $60. Now we're talking about $70. No, it's insane. I can't reconcile in my head how digital copies of games are the same price of hard copy media. They shouldn't be. So why are they? Because they are legitimately gouging you there. I know a lot of people want to talk about price gouging and price controls. No, they legitimately are gouging you for money there. They're gouging you for money because they're trying to justify the over-the-top expenditures on the game, when they never needed that over-the-top expenditure for the first place. Again, take Skull and Bones, for example. The justification for charging $70 for Skull and Bones was that it was a quadruple A game. Why is it a quadruple A game? Because they spent so fucking much money on it. So much money on a game that was in development hell for 10 years. Well, it's a quadruple A game. Spend all this money on it. You guys are going to love it. What did you get? Subpar product. But it's a quadruple A game. We spent all this money on it. It should be good, right? No. Just because you're spending money on a project doesn't mean the thing's going to be good. It just means you spent money on a project, and now you're going to use that money that you spent on the project as justification for charging an exorbitant amount of money. That's your only justification there. It's actually not equal to the time, labor, or effort that you actually put into the game. And in fact, the delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows has actually added on more time and labor, made it even more expensive of a video game to actually have made, and now is going to ultimately cost them more money. But the game just went down in price. Everything just went down in price. What does that tell you? They're gouging you and nickel and diming you with season pass, early access, all this stuff that nobody needs. I don't have a problem with a DLC now and then. Okay? In fact, when it comes to, I'll use Pokemon for example, because I love Pokemon. Oh, I love. I would say the DLCs for Sword and Shield were unnecessary. I get what they were trying to do there. I understand what they were trying to do there. I can see what you were trying to play around with and what you were trying to do. You were trying to do a whole new thing. Ultimately, the sword, like the armor DLC, and I think the Crown Tundra DLC, they didn't add anything really to the game other than more Pokemon to Gigantamax and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legendaries. 8. Oh no. 11 legendaries. Something like that. Like it wasn't really necessary. But when it came to Scarlet and Violet's DLC, Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, I'd actually say that's a good DLC. Because what it did was it gave you another story. It gave you a really good rival. A rival we haven't seen for a while. It gave you characters you actually cared about, characters that over time got better and better and better. And it culminated in an actual adventure and an actual story that I actually fundamentally liked. So I could say that DLCs like that, I could justify. What are the DLCs we've been getting with Assassin's Creed? Well, I could tell you, considering I bought the season pass for Valhalla, worst decision of my life. We got an Ireland story that was super fast. We had, if you pre-ordered the game, by the way, you got a early access story to Beowulf, which again was like 2 hours of content. And then the other thing you could do was go to France and siege France. Oh, but then they made yet another DLC that cost more money, not connected to the DLC, that made their whole Norse mythology thing even more crazy because they decided to make it just a full-on RPG. As you play as Odin, going through hell and battling in Nibelheim. Yay! All it is nickel and diming you. I don't trust digital copies. If you don't own a physical version, it is only a temp license to use music video games. Yeah, and that's why Steam started coming out here and actually telling you you don't actually own the games on Steam. You don't. And that's why GOG then came out and told you you own the games on our system. And that's I prefer to use Steam. Steam's just the easier source. But if you buy the games on GOG, you actually do own the game because they give you a bunch of source files and stuff like that. That's actually a good idea. You will own nothing and like it. That's right. That is the world we are quickly and rapidly moving towards. That we will all live in a world where we own absolutely nothing. And that is why I'm voting for Trump in this year. Here in 2 weeks, I'm voting Trump. I'm voting for the orange man because we need a trout that we can rely on. Okay, we need a good, honest trout. Isn't that right, Trumpy Trout? I turn him on, but he takes forever to actually play through his thing. He's loud, like the whole thing's loud and obnoxious. Like it's insane. And if I turn it on, you'll probably hear it with my gain being as low as it is now. Because he's loud. But he's interactive. So there's that. So, okay. I had 2 other topics, but I chose not to do them tonight because one of them was on Zachary Levi. And I think what Zachary Levi said, honestly, was good. For those of you who aren't aware, Zachary Levi, the star in Shazam and Shazam 2 and some other properties, came out and said that there are more closeted conservatives within Hollywood and that they need to just come out and actually start talking because if you don't, there won't be an industry left to actually work for. So you shouldn't be afraid anymore. I like that. Even though he was clowned on by The View and stuff like that, and The View's just cackling hens that nobody actually cares about. Zachary Levi's 100% correct, and more people should be coming out here to actually discuss and actually talk. And the other topic, I'll just hit real fast, and I exited out of it. But ultimately, Unknown 9 Awakening, you know, the latest Sweet Baby Inc. hit, the latest success for Sweet Baby Inc., ultimate success. It already lost 40% of its players within the first week. Man, it's doing worse than Concord. Good success, guys. Good success. But okay, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. Again, I had to do everything a whole lot later. I still need to edit some of these videos down for tomorrow and stuff like that. I'm sorry again, guys, for being late. Just work. And because busy season, there might be later episodes, there might be no episodes, but because I was sick yesterday and I couldn't do an episode, I had to do an episode today. But on top of that, I am changing up the logo for Dermy's Daily Dictation. I know everybody's like, no, why are you doing this? Why? I'm changing it. I'm doing my own. I'm not doing my own thing. I'm paying a dude to do it, and I'm just gonna show you. This is the rough. This is the rough copy, the rough inspiration. It's not even properly done yet. It's not. Goddamn. Listen, okay. The logo's amazing. I know I did so much work on the logo. But Static said something that I actually liked. That Dermy's Daily Dictations should take inspiration from Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. So I went to one of my logo guys and somebody who I do trust, JT Savage, does great work. He's actually done a lot of my logos and stuff. Actually did the box around here and things like that. I'm just showing you what he has for start. This is the starting point that he made up. So it's not the final project. He's still going to do some glamming, glitzing, but he's in the right direction with what I'm going to be doing with the logo. With what I want done to the logo. Something like this. Again, this isn't the logo. This is not the final logo. This is just where he's where his head's starting at, and I like it because it is kind of hitting at yep. We'll have Dermy daily dictation. I like this. I like this a lot because I think it does feel like a Dermy kind of logo. It fits with me very well. And if I talk to him, I might have him try to, drop a few letters here or there. Definitely have like the wood board and add in like nails or something just to kind of look like I banged it on there because I'm a child. But that's where we're going with this so far. Again, that's just the starting point. That's not the final version. It's going to be something completely different. Why would you do this? Won't somebody think of the children? Well, I don't have kids, so. But anyways, guys, again, love you all. You all were fantastic. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow with another Dermy's Daily Dictation. Thursday, I will be back with another Daily Dictation. Think? Yeah. I'm double checking. I'm looking over my schedule right now. Yeah. Everything should be good this week. And Saturday, I'm gonna say this here. Saturday Charity might actually be moving up permanently for right now to a new time, just to try to get more audiences in here and more views. Because when I do it so late at night, kind of just by the time I get to it, I'm exhausted. But this Saturday, we will be doing a Saturday Charity about 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll be playing a game that a lot of people have talked about, a lot of people have discussed. I'm trying to still get some people together to help play the game. We're playing Possessions. Now, some people might be going like, what the hell is Possessions? Possessions is an indie game that is a fun kind of party game, fast-paced, enjoyable, not so much like Among Us, but not too dissimilar either. And I've been asked to try it out on stream. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to play it with you guys. I'm going to see what happens. I think it's going to be a fun time. I already got Alf to agree. I need a few more other people to try to agree to hop on and play the game as well. So that's going to be awesome. Will Charity happen after Adam's Saturday drive-in? Probably. That's kind of like last week. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing it, just at 7:30 p.m. Probably the best time for me as well. 7:30, 8 o'clock, something around there. Just it's also so much better than doing at 9:30 p.m. because everybody's exhausted by that point. It's pretty much the end of the day. If you started up a little earlier, you could probably get you could probably get more people actually tuning in instead of competing with Flashcast right off the bat. So, but hey, that's how it's gonna be. I'm still playing around with some timelines. So, until next time, guys, you all are amazing. I love each and every last one of you, and always remember, always remember, Gal has a green bush.